Hello, guys. Good morning. What a privilege to be in your space once again. My name remains Osai Tres Omokaro. It's the 25th day on our 30-day journey. I'm so elated that we've been together for these 25 days. This proves a lot about what we've been talking about. When there's a commitment to something, there is always a way around it. Thank you for allowing me come into your space once again. Today promises to be another empowering session. Let's dive in. But before we do that, let's take our announcement. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are yet to do that, it's something you need to do for us and for you. It's something that will benefit you in the long run, especially if you are one giving to entrepreneurship, if you are one giving to optimizing your life and bettering your contribution to humanity. That is what we do. That is what we're known for. This channel will aid you in furthering your advancement along this path in life. Like we've been talking about, the Tony Elumelu Foundation is one grant that is available at the moment. Follow this link to be a part of our group. We have in a small group where we're teaching people on the best way to apply in this year 2021. TEF application is something we have done over and over. We've gained tremendous mastery and authority in this, and we want to be able to work with a small set of people and be able to see how the possibility of 100% success is doable. We just know that it's doable. Take advantage of it and be a part of it. It's absolutely free. There are just few conditionalities that you must meet. Then these three books that we have ordered that's already helping a lot of other businesses to thrive. We believe it will work for you too. Take advantage of them. Now you want to apply for the TEF. Have you taken your idea through that funnel that shows that the idea is valuable, that shows that this idea is profitable? Because we have done this over and over, we understand what investors are looking for. We understand from the perspective of those who select the best to go into cohorts like this. We've put some of the questions that they will need your idea to be able to answer in these books. 4 indisputable steps to choosing a profitable business idea. We help you look at your idea and come up with the best version of it. The other one talks about the strategies to taking this idea to the market, while the final one talks about funding this idea. That one, funding your business idea, has over 100 links to grant opportunities, to which the TEF is just one of such links. So take advantage of these books. They hold tremendous values and they will turn your business around. Consider joining the Trescaro Tribe. Trescaro Tribe is a group of people who are working together, sharpening their ideas and thoughts together to see how we can become the best version of ourselves. I lead this tribe and I help them become the best version of themselves, thriving tremendously with their business and their lives. Then we had this session on the 12th of January, Sell-a-thon. The Sell-a-thon Masterclass was a masterclass for people who want to sell tons and tons of their products and services. The replay is available for you to take advantage of, so you can transcend the space of selling your product and services. You can uphold a bigger space for sales. So you stop begging and appealing to people to buy what you're selling. There are people who need what you're selling, even at the price that you are putting. So in fact, somebody said, if there's a price, there are people who can pay it. So get those right persons who have what it takes to pay you. That's the essence of this session. So today we'll be riding on straight to what our tip for today is. Our tip for today is, let me release it to scroll. Can you say it? Okay, here is it. Practice solitude. Practice solitude. Practice solitude. What is solitude? What is solitude? Solitude is simply a state or a situation of being alone. That state or situation of being alone. In life, there are times you just have to be alone. There are times you just have to be alone. You know, there are scientific studies that have shown that people who set aside time to be alone tend to be happier. People who set time aside to be alone with themselves tend to be happier. That same report go ahead to say that they report better life satisfaction and lower levels of stress. They are also less likely to be depressed. You know, it was Socrates that said an unexamined life is not worth living. Part of what happens when you take your time to spend time with yourself is that you have the opportunity of reevaluation. You have the opportunity of reevaluation. You have the opportunity of taking a deeper look into things. Solitude helps you connect to God, connect to yourself, and connect to the future ahead of you. People are out there just allowing life to happen to them. You don't want to be among those kind of people. You can't just wait and allow life to happen to you. No, it's not the best way to live. You must take your time and x-ray your life with God. You must take your time, talk to yourself about yourself, and you must take some time to ruminate about your future. You must engage your imagination. There's what is called back from the future thinking. You can't do all of this with a busy nature of things today if you're not intentional. So you have to intentionally practice solitude. You have to intentionally practice solitude. If you practice some of the tips we've been sharing since, you're going to find out that people who are actually successful have a protocol that they follow in their life. You cannot just be too busy not to have time for yourself. Who is busy? You. You have to be busy first, taking care of yourself. It starts from there. It starts from there. It starts from there. You must spend time with yourself daily. This is a non-negotiable practice, a non-negotiable tip that you must involve yourself in every day of your life. Spend time alone with yourself. Spend time alone with yourself every day. This is not something you should skip, especially because you have time to sleep. It could be the time you do before you fall asleep. It could be something you do before you fall asleep. It could be something you do very early in the morning when you wake up. It could be something you do at the middle of the day when you shut down everything and concentrate on yourself. Spending time alone with yourself prepare you ahead for things. There are times when I do this and I just sit down and begin to ruminate. I begin to think about stuff and all of that. I get answers to questions even before people ask it. If, for instance, you're preparing for an interview and in the course of you spending time with yourself, you choose to ask yourself some of the likely questions for the interview and you spend time to just answer them. When the interviewer eventually engages you and before they finish asking the questions, they can see your answers pouring as they are tempted to see that this is someone who is already prepared for life. This is someone who is already prepared for life. That's one thing that spending time with yourself does. It prepares you ahead of your contemporaries. It prepares you ahead for life. It helps you answer questions that the world will most likely ask. I remember watching a film about Bill Gates on Netflix, and we're talking about his practices and all of that. I found out that this is something that Bill Gates engages in. In fact, at some point in time, the mom was curious. The mom felt bad. What is happening? This guy doesn't spend time with people. You know, He spent time with himself thinking, and keep ruminating. Does it surprise you the kind of ideas that he's coming up with, the kind of projections that he's coming up with, the kind of solutions that he's coming up with? In that same documentary, Bill Gates said something that there were questions he has assumed that no human being on earth was intelligent enough to ask those questions, to ask him those questions. But he had come up with those questions and was trying to proffer answers to them. He said, but the very first time he met with, what was this guy's name? The second richest man when he was the first. Oh, forgotten his name now. What's his name? When I remember, I'll talk about it. When he met with him, surprisingly, he was shocked to watch him ask him those same questions. He was shocked to see him asking those same questions. He said that immediately told him that this was another very intelligent human. That told him this was another very intelligent human. Success will elude you if you don't spend time to think. You can't live life every day just following the routine, just responding to things as it happens. It was actually Warren Buffett. He said the very first time he had the opportunity of meeting with Warren Buffett, he was shocked to see that some of these questions he has concocted, thinking that nobody is thinking around this. He was shocked to see Warren Buffett asking these questions. That's what happens. Truth is, the technological world that we are in today, the social media world and all of that, tend to take away your time with yourself and disconnect you with the world around you. That's the downside to this. You sit down with people, you travel with people, you spend time with people, but while you are sitting with them, you are with your phone connected to the world, disconnected to the people around you. So if you're not deliberate, if you're not intentional about how you coordinate yourself in this so-called world of technology and social media, you'll be farther from yourself and widely disconnected. And majority of the things happening in this social media space are fallacies. They are practically branding strategies. Everybody putting on a front. Everybody putting on a front, being who they are not, just to be able to maintain a reputation. So at the end of all of the razzmatazz, when you get back to yourself, you see how disconnected you are from your reality. So you must be deliberate about spending time with yourself. Of course, for everything that have a good side, there's a bad side to it. Too much solitude could have its own adverse effects, hence the need for a balance. There is a need for a balance. That's why you don't need to spend more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes daily doing this. Of course, there are people who are withdrawn, who keep to themselves excessively. That could even tend to the depression. That is not what we are advocating here. Try to strike a balance. Spend this time judiciously. Spend this time judiciously to think about your life, to review your yesterday, to project your tomorrow, to think about the end of the year while you're still in January, to be able to project your life using your imagination and your memory. Look back at just spend this time thinking about yourself. You come up with better things about yourself. Let's look at some benefits of solitude. It helps you to know yourself better. Does it surprise you that the first question people ask when they meet you, especially interviewers? I'm currently working on a book now that's trying to solve the problem of unemployment, And one of the things we saw in the book is the fact that the first question you are ever asked when you come before an interviewer is, let me meet you. So your identity matters a lot. When you spend time with yourself, solitude will help you to know yourself better. So when you talk about yourself, you talk about yourself with some level of certainty, some level of knowledge. And that is important to the person you're communicating with. When you don't do this, You are distanced from yourself. You are practically quenching fires. You're practically answering questions that the day brings forth. But when you spend time to yourself, you come up with the questions for the day, and your life is better organized and better managed. Solitude help you improve your relationships. You know, there's a tip. One of the days we talk about x-raying your why. And I ask questions like, why did you marry the wife that you married? You know, solitude gives you the opportunity to sometimes x-ray your relationships. You begin to see how valuable some people are to your life. You begin to see reasons why you need to soften your engagement with some persons because you're spending time with solitude. You're spending time in solitude with yourself. It helps you take a look at things before they happen. It helps you sit down and review the activities that comes up from this relationship. Is it toxic? Is it empowering? Is it fairly my limiting beliefs? You know, the relationship gets better because you are spending time to think about it. But when you don't spend time to think about it, you are only just having to respond to the situations as it happens. That would not bring out the best. It enhances your productivity and creativity. Solitude will enhance your productivity and creativity because you spend time talking to yourself, because you spend time thinking ahead of things. You are you are a more creative person and you are a more productive person because you already know what you're going to do before you do them. Unlike someone just waking up and finding out I need to do this. Because you spend time to plan and strategize on what you're going to do, you find out when it's time for execution. It's easier. You know, it's Brian Tracy that says every 10 minutes spent on planning will save you. He mentioned a particular percentage of time in execution. You know, the time you invested in planning, in solitude, in thinking and talking to yourself will enhance your productivity when it's time for execution. You know, solitude also improves your psychological well-being. It gives you improved psychological well-being. Solitude help you get improved psychological well-being. Solitude help you plan your life ahead. It helps you plan your life ahead. It helps you take time to look at your life in retrospect. And when you are somebody who does this, life becomes better for you. Your engagement comes out more impactful because you spend time to think about what you do. You know, finally, this is a word from Socrates: an unexamined life is not worth living. You must take time in solitude to examine your life daily. This is a practice that will work tremendously for you in 2021. So let's take some action points. Choose a time of the day. 10 minutes is fair enough. Choose a time of the day and remain consistent with it. For me, I have my time, a quiet time with God early in the morning where I spend time praying and ruminating and all of that. Then there are times I just sit down thinking about my entire day, thinking about my life, the activities of yesterday, projecting to tomorrow. Those are the times where I come up with ideas. Those are the times where I come up with innovative strategies to push in my business. Those are the time where I come up with things I quickly push to my staff. I said, put an end to the put it, cross this T, dot this I, let's get this going. That time you spend with yourself. Then decide the engagement you will have at this time, all with yourself. At this time, you must keep off from your phones and every gadgets that connect you to the world because you want to spend this time with yourself. In fact, I'm practically reading a spiritual book now that talks about Alone with God by Bishop Wale Oki. You know, spending time alone with God, spending time alone with yourself will enhance your capacity, will enhance your well-being. Then consider a walk. Take a walk. If you're married, do that with your spouse. Put your phones at home. Just take a walk. If you are not, sometimes do this alone. Do this alone. Spend this time talking to yourself. Spend this time thinking. Then, if it's possible, get an accountability partner or get accountability partners. Get accountability partners. What does this do? It just keep you accountable. We talked about getting accountability partners. It keeps you accountable to what you have told yourself you're going to do. Welcome. We've come to the end of today's session. Before I release you, kindly go ahead and place order for these books. Just follow the link as it shows on your screen. Follow this link, trescaro.com/links. You will see books. Just place order for these books and send me your thank you message later on. Send me your thank you message later on, because I know you will have cause to say thank you for this offer. Then consider joining the Trescaro tribe. We are already making impact. Do your best to be a part of us. Go ahead and buy the Sell-A-Thon Masterclass replay session. Then before we leave, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's been a blessing to your life. Talk to other people about it, and let's get so many people to glean value from this space. I remain Osai Tresamokaro. It's always my pleasure to be in your space. I will be here again tomorrow to add on the 26th day to what we've been doing. It's barely 5 days to wrapping up this, and I trust that you've been enjoying the values from here. Have a great day ahead of you. Thank you. I love